Chai, 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 chai. Oh yo yo. See. Oh yo yo. I don't come, I don't show. Aye.
Oh yeah, Nigeria have a variety of foods, very delicious food and healthy food. Most of their foods is kind of become being eaten by everyone in every part of the country is rice, but different people from different part of the country normally have a different stew, different way of making it. Like in the western part of the country, they normally make a egusi soup, and that they use palm oil, they use vegetable oils to make that, they use dry fish, crayfish at the same time. Compared to Igbo side, they cook what is called the ogolo. So it's a kind of different way of doing that. I don't know how to do it, but I would like to do it because it tastes really good.
It's good because the food is different, it tastes different, and we put a lot of time to it, you know, and it just means a lot, and it's just different compared to other food that you usually eat. It tastes different, smells different. It just has its uniqueness.
I mean, the way it is being prepared. We have different kinds of food, and you know. Normally, I'm from Ekiti, Ekiti State. Our favorite food there is iyon and egusi and all that kind of meat, like bush meat. But don't catch any meat in America because you might end up in jail.
Food in Cameroon is delicious. There's only three things we got. We got soccer, we got music, and we got food. Plantains, I mean, like they make them in Puerto Rico, so platanos, they call them. If you've ever had ripe plantains, it will change your life. Another thing we eat a lot of is cassava. You can make all kind of stuff out of it. Something called yondo, bobola. It's like these sticks made out of cassava. Like, it's an experience here. So it's like straight up, people think I'm saying this. Like, Africans just sit around and reminisce about food all day. So, like, whenever we get together, that's like one of the first things we start talking about is food. So, African, hey, Taste of Africa, I'm telling you, it will change your life.
It's like the best.
Okay.
Basically, like I've heard other Africans praise West African food because it's like Africa is basically divided toward, let's say, on the east-west kind of concept. A lot of Eastern African or Southern African that I've met, they talk about West African food. They give special emphasis to Liberia, especially bambara, cassava leaf. Cassava leaf pretty much get all their attention. Cassava leaf, first of all, it's like I don't know how you define cassava. Being what? Basically, it's a vegetable. It's a vegetable, and it's just like potato, how potato is. And we sometimes eat the cassava itself, boil it, and we sometimes fried it, roast, bake it, and all that. But for the leaves is they put the leaves in like a grinder, grind it to like it's kind of like a powder form, and you can cook it in different ways. You can cook it with palm oil. You can cook it with palm oil, vegetable oil. You can even use I think some people use coconut oil. I know it's good with coconut oil.
It's just awesome. You know, the way you dip the solid into the soup, like you use your hand and put it in your mouth and you lick your fingers. Nothing like it.
Ghanaian food is the best on the African continent. And what makes it special is you can just put lots of spices with some of the carbohydrates, palm oils, vegetable oils, mix everything together and create your own food out of it.
I think pretty much that's what it is. And normally people will be talking about why is it that the African food, everything is all together. Yes, it's all together because your vegetables and everything, like my wife said, you have everything all together. So when you have an African taste or African meal, it's like 8-course meal. You know, it comprises everything.
You really have a balanced diet when you eat an African meal. Like you get all the nutrients you need from. You don't need food supplements when you eat an African dish.
One of my favorite dishes is okra soup and gari. How is it made? You make a gari. Gari is made out of cassava first of all. What you do is use the cassava, dry it. The process is too long. I wouldn't have to take the gari itself. You end up, boiling warm water, pour the gari in, mix it. It becomes, you turn into lumps, small lumps or larger lumps at your taste. And then the okra soup, what you do is we use what is called, usually known as gumbo here, or okra. We grind the okra when it's fresh, add some shrimps onto it, dried shrimps, and some olive oil if you want to cook it. I'll mix them up in the pot, boil it, add some ginger and garlic, and that's it.
It's got a real unique flavor. Gives a lot of dry. Oxus is dry fish. It adds a little spicy kick to it. It has a lot of chili peppers and stuff like that.
What's your favorite dish?
Definitely have to go with the fufu soup.
I think the food's pretty good. It's a little spicy, but a lot of flavor, a lot of salt, which I like. Gets you that heart attack, so I like that.
It's colorful, spicy. It has life. What makes it special is the variety of ingredients we use. We use a whole wide range of variety of ingredients in making our food. So, yeah.
Oh, Cameroonian food. Varieties of foods, lots of vegetables, lots of tubers. It depends on what part of the country you come from. So we have different vegetations from dense equatorial forest to semi-forest to the grasslands to the Sahel, which means that we have lots of varieties of food. And because of that, it depends on what part of the country you live. But if you're in the big cities, you have foods from all over the country being sold in markets in the big cities. So it really depends. The varieties are endless. I don't know what to say. Yeah. What makes it special? One is first thing is it's organic. When you eat a banana in Cameroon and you come back here, you wouldn't want to eat a banana. If you eat a pineapple in Cameroon and you come here, you wouldn't want to eat a pineapple. That's the first difference. What makes it also good is that people cook their food every day, so you're always eating freshly cooked food. People do not heat food in the microwave to eat. That's the difference. So it's organic. They bring it from the farm or from the market, but that day they cook it and you eat it, and so it's fresh and it's healthy.
Well, there's so many different kinds of cuisine in Nigeria, right? But I was living in the Yoruba area, and I think, there are many different dishes that I enjoyed. Like the favorite, I think, was jollof rice, right? I love jollof rice. But there were some real Yoruba dishes that I love, like moi moi, and which is it's black eyed peas. They're soaked and then they're ground and then they're steamed in banana leaves. It's so delicious. And I think we had that with akara. But it was like you take that, which is a very strong protein, and you take that with a corn dish, also made and steamed in banana leaves. And it's complete protein and it's delicious. Also, inside of the moi moi, you can put different things like fish and different spices. Wonderful. We've got some of the same food sources and food stuffs, but each culture does something different. Mm-hmm. And the Yoruba they love to season with palm oil, mm-hmm. So everything with a lot of red dishes, very tasty.
Why do you think it's important for students to come out to Taste of Africa?
Taste of Africa, because they'll be getting a taste of Africa. And not just the food. I mean, the food is the fun part, right? If they come out to Taste of Africa, they'll also get a sense of the culture behind the food. And I think it's also important that they're going to interact with African students. So it just won't be, tasting different food that someone who knows nothing about Africa just happened to know a recipe for. But actually interact, so that if a student has a question, for example, they can ask someone who has an African connection and get some valid information back. And who knows, this may give rise to some other conversations and other interests in Africa. And of course we need that, because we need to displace the stereotypes about Africa and the ignorance about Africa with some real working knowledge.
Jump to the center, start to go low, yeah, big bass. Oh yeah, we wanna hear ya, we don't come back, we brand new start, 2 fingers in the air for you.